Hey everybody, we're gonna give it about a minute. Let everybody get on. Hope everybody's doing well this evening. While we're doing it, Shane's gonna check and see if anyone puts any questions in while we're talking. Hope everybody's had a great weekend. Happy Sunday evening. Looks like we're just starting to get some people on, so we're gonna give it just a couple of minutes. All right, looks like we got people coming on. I'm gonna give it about another minute. Looks like everyone's signing on now, so we'll give it about another minute. Again, happy Sunday. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. I know a lot of us are sorry it's coming to a close and got to go back to work tomorrow, but hey, any day above the dirt's a good day. So we'll keep on trucking. Hey, everyone that's signing on. The tablet's just a little far. I can see people signing on, but I can't see who it is. It's a little far from my bifocals, but well, while everyone's signing on, I'll go ahead and say this, and I'll say it again before it's over with, but good news, the signs came in yesterday. So I've already passed out some yard signs today. I've had some people come to the house. I took some to someone else who's going to be putting them up on the west side. And after this is over, I'm going to go meet with someone and take them some signs. So the signs are here. If you want a sign or some signs to hand out to your friends and such, you can either DM me here or put it on this, or just get up with me, go to the website, let us know, and we'll be sure to get you a sign. I've got a trailer full of them under the carport right now that need a home. So like I said, get with us on here, DM me or however you want to, and we will definitely get them to you. If you DM me your address, who you are and your address, someone will drop one off to you. But I'll go over that again towards the end, but I wanted to go ahead and get it out there. Looks like a lot of people are already signing on, so we're going to go ahead and move ahead. So this is Sunday with the Sheriff again. Good evening to everybody. We will do this again Sunday after next. I believe so far I've had 3 questions that people have put in since the last time, so I'll answer those towards the end. If anyone has a question while we're doing this today, feel free to put it on the crosshair. Shane's looking at the site from another phone or whatever, so we'll see when they come in, and we can go ahead and answer your question now. If you want to afterwards, if you got a question or you think of something afterwards, just go ahead and put it on here, and I will be able to do it next time. Like I said, I've got 3, and we'll get to those at the end. All right, so the signs are here. I've already put 4 in my yard. I've put some up for some other people. I've met some folks today and given them some that they're going to put up for us. So anywhere you are in the county, we can get you a sign. Just let me know, and we'll get them to you. With that being said, right now signs can go on private property, i.e. your yard, your business, or whatever. They can't go into roadways or the right-of-ways until March the 28th. Has to be 30 days from the first day of early voting, which is April 28th. So March 28th is when they can start going like at intersections beside the road and all. So do me a favor, if you get a sign, please don't put it out there on the right-of-ways or the roadways until then, or I'll get a call from the Board of Elections, and I don't want to make them upset with me. So if you want to go ahead and put them in your yard, that's perfectly fine, private property. Let us know, we'll get them to you. Also on that, so we've got some people that have volunteered, and I'm in the process of reaching out to more volunteers. We could sure use some more volunteers, everything from putting out signs. When we get to go ahead March 28th, I've already taken off work. We're lining everything up. I'd like to get them all out as quick as possible, all over the county. So we can definitely use some help, especially some of the guys around here that have trucks and such, to get the signs out and get them all over the county. We're also getting ready to start, we're less than 60 days from the primary now. So we're going to go ahead and start with the volunteers and select some neighborhoods and such all over the county, in Raleigh, downtown, Cary, Knightdale, all over, and start doing a door-to-door campaign. I'm going to be doing it, and love to have some volunteers to help, passing out information and such. We're also going to do some phone campaigning as we get closer. So like I said, we're less than 60 days in the short rows, as they say. So we're moving on, and I have been very, very busy. I can promise you, not a day goes by I'm not doing something. Since I last spoke to you Sunday before last, I told you in one of these Facebook Lives that my goal was to talk to every police chief in Wake County by the time the primary is, and I'm halfway there. Between my schedule and their schedule, everybody's busy, but so far I've spoken to half of them, either sitting down with them at their office or one so far on the phone. I have a couple more lined up for phone conversations coming up over the next week or two. When I talk to these chiefs, what I'm finding out and what I'm asking them really, I know some of the issues that are going on with me still being in law enforcement and being a sergeant on patrol. I know some of the issues that there are, but I also want to make sure I don't miss anything and there's something that we can do. And one of the things I tell them is I'm not here to mudsling or talk bad about anybody by any means. I'm just here to tell you what I plan to do. I used to work in the jail. I was a deputy as well. So I have some insight there and how I want to make things better for them. Because say you live in downtown Raleigh or downtown Knightdale or Apex, you may not think that the sheriff's office affects you very much, but everything from the jail it does. Right now the sheriff's office is so short. I have talked to some agencies that are going as much as 5 miles outside of their jurisdiction to answer calls to help the sheriff's office out. And it's great for the citizens that they're willing to do that, and we're all in it together. But like I say you live in downtown Raleigh, that's an officer where your tax money pays his salary or her salary, and instead of them being there to give you the service that you're paying for and that you deserve in your jurisdiction, your area, your town, they're having to go out and answer calls for the sheriff's office. Well, if they do happen to go and arrest someone, the intake system down there is so bad and it's taken forever. So that's just that much more time that officer's having to spend at the jail now, or if they don't accept them, which is a sort of a regular thing now, excuse me, then they're having to go to the hospital and sit that long. So that's just that much longer, even though you have RPD, Knightdale PD, Apex, Holly Springs, you're still not getting the service you deserve and that you're paying for, basically, because these officers are having to do this when there should be a deputy out there answering those calls. But we are thankful for what they're doing, and we're going to fix it. I also, I met with the chiefs over the past 2 weeks. I met with someone from iHeartRadio about some digital media. So if you have smart TV, digital TV, here shortly you're going to start seeing the commercials. We're going to have an email campaign coming out as well with that. And there's also, the way they described it to me, every time you're on your smartphone and you go onto an app, our banner is going to come up, Coley for Sheriff. So get ready for all that. That should be coming out soon. So like I said, every day, every night, we're doing something. I've got something to do tonight after I finish this up. I also went yesterday to the Holy event in Marshall. Had a ball, several thousand people there. Loved watching the kids having fun. They were basically painting each other, running around, having a good time. That was a great event. And I'm learning more and more. There's so many cultures now and communities in Wake County. And I'm really enjoying learning about everyone. And one of the biggest things I've learned, even though we have all these differences, is we're all the same. Everyone in Wake County is looking for the same thing. Everyone wants to be safe to raise their families, to go to work and come home, and not be concerned about things like what happened a couple of days ago when you had someone, you basically had a rolling gun battle between Raleigh PD and a subject who started by trying to shoot his wife the day before. He ended up going to Raleigh and shooting someone, stole a car, set his apartment on fire, and then had a rolling gun battle right down Newbern Avenue in the edge of Raleigh, right down from Wake Med and across from where the new DMV is now. That's unacceptable. One of the issues, obviously, is the shortage of manpower, but it's just unacceptable, and I don't want to see Wake County continue in that direction. As I say, even though we've got people moving from all over the world to live in Wake County now, we're the largest populated in the state. We've surpassed Charlotte, Mecklenburg, and we're the capital county. So things like that are just not acceptable in this county. And as the sheriff, we're going to do everything we can to keep it from happening again, and do what we've sworn to do. We swore to protect citizens and their property, and that's what I fully intend to do. So we've been doing all that over the last 2 weeks. One of the other things I want to talk to you about, I just told you how we're going to do the digital campaign. We're going to do the door-to-door, we're going to do the phone, but the things like the digital campaign, the mailers that are going to be going out, this is the part I hate the worst about this thing, but it takes money. And we've been very fortunate, and we have raised a considerable amount of money, especially compared to some of the other candidates. I've been truly blessed and truly thankful. But I will, for the first time, openly ask, if you feel like you support what we're doing, you like what I've got planned, if you could go on the website and give us a little campaign donation to help us go that much further. Like I said, we're in the short rows of it now, and we just need a little bump to get us through the primary, and then we'll be on the sheriff. So if you feel so inclined, I would appreciate it. A few upcoming things we have: the Democrat Party, both the state and Wake County. There's some candidate forums coming on. There's some other candidate forums from some other groups. Some of them are all the candidates. Some are just the Democrat candidates. So there's several things coming up, and we're going to keep you abreast of what all's coming up and what's going on through Facebook and the website. So just kind of keep up with us on that, and you'll see what's coming up and where we'll be. It's going to get real busy. With COVID, there wasn't a lot going on, so I think everyone's trying in this last 50-some days we have left. I think they're trying to cram it all into that time to where everyone can meet us. A few of these things I noticed are going to be like online, WebExes, Zooms, but for the most part, it's going to be in person. So hope you can make it out to some of those, and we'll definitely keep you up to date on what's coming up. Some of them are in Raleigh, some of them are in on the west side. One I saw was on the south side, so they're pretty stretched out. What we've got going on, we've got a few fundraisers coming up. I have 2 in Raleigh that are coming up right now. One's in the beginning of April and one's towards the end of April. So 2 in Raleigh. We're working on another one, possibly 2 in the Morrisville and Cary area. I'm trying to come up with something on the south side. The 2 in Raleigh, actually all the ones that we've got coming on right now, where people have invited us to their home, invited their friends and neighbors to come see what I have to say. And then that's a nice, quaint atmosphere, and it works out really well. So we've got those coming up. Anything that's kind of opened up, we'll let you know on here and on the website. And if you'd like to have a fundraiser or anything, or if you just have a group that you want me to come and do a meet and greet, doesn't have to be a fundraiser. I'd be more than happy to. I'd love to. So just let me know on here, DM or on here, if you've got something you'd like me to come speak, or if you just want me to come to your community clubhouse or to your home and speak to a group of people, I'd love to. So just let me know. Again, a reminder, the primary is May the 17th. Early voting for the primary starts April the 28th through May the 14th. Please turn out for the primary. This one is key. It's very important that everyone turns out for the primaries. You've got a lot of people running in this one, so on both sides. So we need everyone to turn out to the primary. Traditionally, not only a fraction of the registered voters show up for the primary. This one's important. Everybody needs to turn out for the primary in this one. Whether you decide to do early voting and get it out of the way or go that day, we need you to. And not only do we need you to turn out for the primary, all your coworkers, all your neighbors, your family, your friends, this one is important. And not just the sheriff race. There's a lot of races in this. To be a midterm, this election cycle is big. And there's some major concerns, and everyone needs to turn out. So like I said, not only you, but make sure your family, your friends, your co-workers, your church members, everybody. Make sure everyone goes and votes in the primary this time, all right? So that's the biggest ones on that. I did have 3 questions that came through. And like I told you the last time, I purposely don't really go over and get ready for these questions, I see them come in, and basically one of them was kind of long on this, so I screenshotted it. But I want you to hear it straight from the heart. I don't rehearse the questions, and then a couple of these aren't very long questions or whatever. It won't take but a few minutes to go over them. One of them was a little longer, sort of a two-part. The first question, and I'll never say names for privacy and everything. What is your first duty to the citizens of Wake County? My first duty, as any peace officer, law enforcement officer's first duty, is the safety of the citizens and their property. We all take an oath to the United States Constitution, the North Carolina Constitution, to protect people and property. We also take an oath to protect your constitutional and civil rights. And I take all those things seriously. To me, still, a person's word is their bond. I don't take oaths lightly at all. I put my hand on the Bible, and that means something to me. So our first duty, my first duty, and I'll be sure that every deputy and detention officer's first duty is to uphold their oath, to protect the citizens, their property, their constitutional and their civil rights. That's basically what law enforcement is, but that's any law enforcement officer's first priority, and it's definitely mine, and we'll be sure to do that. This is the one that had a little length to it. So it's a two-part question. And it starts out and it says, since Sheriff Baker has taken office, we have lost a lot of real good men and women from the sheriff's office. So how are you going to get them back, or are you going to try to get some of them back? And from what I've been hearing, there's only about 8-ish deputies on duty in the county to cover 1.2 million people. So how are you going to keep quality deputies? The first part, definitely have lost a lot of good men and women, both in detention and on the deputy side. I'm sure you've heard me tell before, if you've watched very many of these or heard me speak anywhere, I was a patrol deputy. I ended at the sheriff's office as a master deputy, which is basically a corporal, and I had the east side of the county. At that time, we had 4 platoons that patrolled the county, 857 square miles, 1.2 million. Now, you had other divisions, don't get me wrong, but the patrol division alone, those 4 platoons had 24. People called out sick, baby sick, whatever. You basically had at least 20 all the time, anywhere from 20 to 25. Now, the person who sent in this question is exactly right. You do, on the average, have 8 on that same platoons. So that's a significant difference. I mean, you're talking about a third of the deputies. Still, 8 patrol deputies, 857 square miles, 1.2 million citizens, and that goes back to where I was saying that other agencies are having to go so far outside of their jurisdiction. That goes to where you're hearing a house alarm goes off and it takes an hour to an hour and a half for a deputy to respond. That's just not acceptable, especially in Wake County. Again, we're the capital county. So you're absolutely right. And as far as how are you going to get them back, or would you want to get them back? I have tried to reach out to every deputy and detention officer that has left there for one other reason. The whole reason I've been reaching out to them is I do know, and I watched a lot of good deputies, a lot of good detention officers who, in my opinion, were mistreated, who were either fired, forced out, however you want to put it. And absolutely, the good deputies and detention officers who left there, I would love to have each and every one of them back. I have reached out to several, the ones that I could get in touch with. They seem to be very often leaving there, so it's kind of hard to keep up, and you don't hear a lot that's going on in there, so I'm sure there's some that have left that I don't even know about yet, but we're trying our best to reach out to all of them. And yes, definitely, I would love to have each and every one of them back. I'd love to have the family back. We used to provide a great service to this county, and I fully intend for that to happen again. These chiefs, I told you I've been talking to these chiefs. One of the things I've told them is, because it's hard for anybody to hire law enforcement officers right now. Not a lot of people are getting into it. So what I've told them is, I will not actively recruit at your agency. However, if they're good and they come to me, I will not say no either. I would love to have a lot of those men and women who were deputies and detention officers back. I really would. and I will actively continue to reach out to them from now to the actual election, and let them know that if it goes, good Lord's willing, and I'm the next sheriff of Wake County, I'd love for them to come back. And let's see, from what I've been hearing, there's only about 8-ish. So how are you going to keep quality deputies? The thing I've told most people is, yes, there's not a lot of people getting into law enforcement now. So if you have a limited pool of candidates to pull from to be Wake County deputies and detention officers, the best way to get them and to retain them, obviously money talks. Money is a big thing, and I've talked to county commissioner, and they're well aware of that, and they've already started a process, I think, of trying to get some money up for like new hires and across the board. I've been insistent to try and not just get it up for new hires, but definitely across the board for people that have been there for a while, especially after what they've been going through for the last few years. But there's more to it than just the money. You've got to treat people right. One of the things that I plan to do to retain for sure is treat the deputies and detention officers right. Have their back as long as they don't break the law and they don't do anything illegal or immoral. Let's face it, law enforcement's not in a good eye sometimes now with the media, both social and local. But if the deputies and detention officers don't do wrong, they don't do illegal or immoral, I've got their back. And we'll fight for them all day. Another thing is to have a modern professional law enforcement agency, and that's what I'm really pushing out there that I want. And that's more than just equipment. It takes more than equipment to make a modern professional agency. It's the people. It's the people that you hire. It's how you train them. It's what you let them know that you expect from them. And I expect professional deputies and detention officers that treat people the way they want to be treated, and treat them right, and do what's right. So between having a professional agency, a modern agency, I told you in the last time some of the ways I want to make it a modern agency, and treating these deputies and detention officers right, treating them like family, like they are, I think that's what retains people. Everyone wants to be appreciated for the job they do, and everybody wants to be treated right, and that's how you retain people, and that's what I fully intend to do. The third question that I had: what is your stance on the Second Amendment? I was pulled by a Wake deputy that did not know the open carry law in North Carolina. I believe there needs to be more education in North Carolina's gun laws. This deputy wasn't a young new man. I spent 5 minutes educating him. Best way I know how to explain my stance on the Second Amendment, I already told you I took an oath to the North Carolina and the United States Constitution. I took an oath to protect everyone's civil and constitutional rights. To go a little bit further than that, I am a gunsmith. I'm the armorer at the agency I work for. I am a North Carolina concealed carry instructor. I'm sure, I can't see all the names, but I'm sure somebody on here, probably more than one, took my class at one point or another. I'm a shooter. I enjoy shooting once in a while. Last weekend, I had some friends over, and I have a safe berm back behind my house, and we did some shooting. I'm a gun collector. I like to refurbish old guns, repair and refurbish. I believe anyone who can legally own a gun should be able to without a lot of problems. One of the things I definitely want to do is there was such a big issue about the gun permits. We're definitely going to put some extra help in there, whatever we got to do to get these permits back in a timely manner. With that all being said, as long as you don't have a mental health doctor who said you shouldn't have a gun, or you don't have a history of felonies, especially violent felonies, I see no reason why you have a constitutional right to own a gun, and I see no reason why you shouldn't, and I won't stand in the way of anyone who can legally own a gun having a gun. But that's where I stand on that. Did we have any other questions that came in?
You did. So, what are your plans for dealing with those who are not qualified for the positions they hold at the sheriff's office?
That's a good question. That's the first one I've had from one of these forums. So, if you remember back about 3 years ago, Wake County put out a 3-page memo. And one of the things that they put in there was that there are currently people at the sheriff's office who are in positions that they're not qualified for. So the best way I know to handle that, I'm one of these people, if you tell me there's something about someone, I have to see it for myself. I have to find out for myself. So I've even had people tell me that what I need to do is go in there, if I'm elected sheriff, anyone that's been promoted since I left, I should demote them right off the bat. Why would I say I would do that? I need to see for myself. I always give the example that there may be someone who never had the opportunity to be a supervisor or the responsibility, and now they've turned out to be the best supervisor that's ever been there. So what I plan to do, basically I want everybody to do a resume. Along with that resume, I want to know where they are assigned now. These are both deputies and detention officers. I want the resume. I want to know where they are assigned now, where they would like to be assigned, where they see themselves in 5 years, and where they see themselves in 10 years. That way, with all of that, with their resume, I can see if I feel and the senior staff feel that they are truly qualified for where they're at or not. If they're not qualified to be there, they may not even want to be there, because that's where I want to find out where they'd like to be assigned. So it may be an easy fix like that. If they do want to be there and they're not yet qualified for that position, by them telling me where they want to be in 5 years, 10 years, we can have a sit down and talk about it. And if where they're at's where they want to be and that's where they see themselves in 5 years, then we need to see what we need to do about getting them qualified to be in the position that they're in. So in a nutshell, a resume, where you're assigned now, where you would like to be assigned, where you see yourself in 5 years, and where you see yourself in 10 years. Because I have no doubt there are some people from things I'm hearing that there are some people in some positions they're not qualified for. But I need to see that for myself. And then the fairest way I know to handle it, if they happen to not be in a position that I feel they're qualified for, is to use that system and go from there. You got another one? That was it. That was a great question, by the way. So if you have any other questions, if you will, just put them on here. And next time around, Sunday after next, we'll be sure to get to it. Just want to remind everybody who wasn't here in the beginning, I'm sure you've seen it all over Facebook, that the signs are here. And God willing, you're going to see them all over Wake County shortly. If you would like to volunteer to help put out signs, please get up with me, either DM, put it here. Most of you probably have my phone number. It's been the same for over 20 years. So get up with me somehow and help us get these signs out. Again, they can go on private property now. They cannot go into roadways, intersections, right-of-ways, and things like that until March the 28th. What's that, next week? So we're getting close. But we could definitely use some volunteers to get them out. There's 1,000 of them. If you'd like to volunteer, here shortly we're going to start doing some door-to-door campaigning and some phone campaigning. I could really use the help. Like I said, I'm going day and night. I'm working a full-time job doing this. I don't have a campaign manager or a campaign advisor. We've done everything by our gut. What seemed right, that's what we've done to see where it goes. And so far, it's been doing well. And I'm proud to say that we're actually getting a lot of good, positive feedback from a lot of different places. Even some places I wouldn't have thought that had a chance to even hear about us much. We're getting a lot of positive feedback. We've got a heck of a campaign going, and I think we're making some people nervous. But if you can volunteer, love to have your help. Let me know here, DM me, text me, or go on the website. Again, and I'm going to tell you this every time, so it's going to get old. Early voting for the primary is April 28th through March 14th. The primary election is actually March 17th. I'm running as a Democrat. If you are a registered Democrat or unaffiliated, I need your help in the primary. I need your mom and daddy's help. I need your brothers and sisters' help, your co-workers, and everybody. We need to get everybody out to the primary. If you're a registered Republican, change to unaffiliated. Vote for me in the primary. That's going to be it. I think I took up a lot of y'all's Sunday evening. Thank you very much for coming. I've got some stuff to do. We're about to get hard at it again. I will be back here Sunday after next at 7 o'clock for Sunday with the Sheriff. And God willing, for the next 20 years or so, you're going to have to listen to me for Sunday with the Sheriff. Love you all. You be safe. Take care. Thank you.